Okay, well, I figure it's about time for me to do another video. My last couple of videos have focused upon my intentions and preparation to hike the Appalachian Trail, and that's what I'm going to be mainly talking about this evening. But before I do, because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, I just wanted to go over a little bit the history of my blogging and vlogging and all of that. It actually began, the first blog and videos that I created were actually in 2010 when I did a Fulbright fellowship in Senegal, and I started documenting these experiences for my students to follow. And I would do that, at least I would do some sort of adventure at least once or twice a year. But a lot of my friends and family started following my blog and the various videos that I was doing. Kind of a busy in San Miguel tonight, a busy night, lots of traffic. But a lot of my friends and family were following these my blogs and my videos as well, and so I kept that in mind. My audience was primarily for my students, and also aware of the fact that a lot of friends and family were also following my blogs. But this year, my number of subscribers, I think, more than doubled once I started documenting my hike of the Camino de Santiago, and so my viewership has seems to have changed or evolved a little bit. A lot of my students I know are still following, and my friends and family, I think, are still following, but got a lot of these new people, and I think it's people, the hiking community, interested in my hiking adventures. So, and that's what I'm mainly going to be talking about for at least the next 9 or 10 months as I prepare and ultimately hike the Appalachian Trail. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about my preparations at this point to hike the Appalachian Trail. As I mentioned in, I think, my last video, if not maybe 2 videos back, I've recently moved to San Miguel de Allende. Here comes the bus. Looks like that pass. Whew. As I said, it's a busy night here in San Miguel de Allende. Okay, so I'm actually on my way walking down to the center of town. I think there's supposed to be a jazz festival tonight, and I thought I would come down and enjoy that. So, yeah. So as I was saying, my move here to Camino de, or to not to Camino de Santiago. That's what I did over the summer. But my move here to San Miguel de Allende is actually going to serve me well as I prepare for the Appalachian Trail. And I mentioned this in a previous video. The altitude here, this is in the mountains of Mexico, and the altitude here is actually a little higher than the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, or at least my home is. My home is up on top of a ridge, and it's about 6,700 feet above sea level. And down, as you can see over here, I'm approaching downtown right now. You can see the church down there, and that's probably the most famous landmark of San Miguel de Allende is the church. But let me get around some people here. So it's going to give me some excellent, and as also I make this hike several times, and up and down to the city, and so it's going to give me some good practice and experience hiking at fairly decent altitude, and hiking up some pretty steep inclines coming from the downtown, the center of town, up to my home. So yeah, this is going to be where I'm going to be doing most of my physical training to prepare for the Appalachian Trail. So now, my new viewers that are probably into hiking, you probably know a lot more about the Appalachian Trail and hiking and stuff like that. For the people that have been following me all along, several of you probably may not even know what the Appalachian Trail is. So basically, let's sort of start from scratch. And the Appalachian Trail is a trail that goes through the Appalachian Mountains, about 2,200 miles, starting in Georgia, Springer Mountain in Georgia, all the way to just south of the Canadian border in Maine to Mount Katahdin. And it's a wilderness, unlike my hike of Camino de Santiago, which was a hike from the one I did was from Saint Jean Pied de Port in France to Camino de to Santiago in Spain, and then actually I went ahead on to Finisterre, so that was a total of about just under 600 miles for that trek. But unlike the Appalachian Trail, it's not a wilderness trail. It's more a hike through the countryside, through some mountains, the Pyrenees Mountains. You know, that was no joke. There was some pretty serious uphill hikes through the mountains, but not through the wilderness, not dealing with bears. And although I did see a snake, I don't really have to worry about rattlesnakes or poisonous snakes. And you're just going through the countryside, and from one small town, sometimes larger towns like Burgos and Lyon, but mostly smaller little villages. And instead of sleeping in a tent, which is what I'll be doing most of the time on the Appalachian Trail, there are these things called albergues that most people stay in, which are essentially hostels, but hostels specifically for the pilgrims, which are the people that how they refer to the people hiking the Camino. So a very different type of, wait for this bus to pass. So the Camino de Santiago is a very different kind of hike. Although it was a good experience for me getting in, 500 miles of hiking, getting used to doing it on a day-to-day basis. And that was the first time that I had ever hiked that kind of distance for that length of time. I did it in just over 30 days, I think. And so that was a good preparation for me to be doing these types of, this long distance type of hiking. The only other hiking that I'd done, I hadn't really done anything much more than a week at a time. Maybe I think Kilimanjaro might have been maybe 8 or 9 days total of hiking. But my other hikes that I've done are hikes like I mentioned, Kilimanjaro. But I've hiked the Inca Trail a couple of times, and I've been to Patagonia and hiked the W Trek there. But all of those have been a week or less. And in some cases, some of the hikes I've done in other parts of the world have just been like day hikes, and not really any camping or anything like that. So anyway, I'm definitely taking my hiking experience up a notch by hiking the Appalachian Trail, but I'm really looking forward to it. And the training that I've been doing here at altitude and up and down these hills, I think is going to serve me well. I've not just been hiking, but I've also been doing some of my running, which I've done, for years. I've been running, and I've recently started. I was a little apprehensive about, getting back into my running here at altitude, because in the past I haven't responded well to altitude. But I've been really surprised that my running has not been as difficult as I had anticipated it would be at this altitude. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't really noticed any difference. I think Dallas is something like 400 feet just above sea level, so a significant difference. And I really haven't noticed any difference really running at this altitude. It's mainly just been that I haven't really done much running. I laid off of my running, during the summer when I was hiking the Camino de Santiago. And then as I was preparing for my move to here in Mexico, that was taking a lot of my attention, and I was doing a lot less running. So this week was when I first started running again after, a few months off. So that's, I think, has been the main issue. I'm just out of shape, and haven't done much hiking. So, but I'm looking forward to picking up my mileage, or I should say I haven't done much running, but I'm looking forward to picking up my mileage running. And what I've really been surprised about, my pace really, even though I've been running easy, has not been that far off of the pace that I've been running for. I just haven't been running the distances that I used to run. So I just need to pick up my mileage, but I'm not going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be sort of splitting my time between doing hikes, putting on the backpack and getting some weight on my back, and going up and down some of these hills and heading out. There's a park which has some trails. I'll be heading out over there, and that's how I'm going to be doing most of my training. So, and then I'm going to keep doing videos to bring you up to date and talk about different other issues besides my training, other things as far as preparations and anticipation of the Appalachian Trail, and especially for those of you that are not my old audience of my students, friends, and family. I'll be talking a little bit more about just sort of the AT in general, and explaining a few things for those of you who don't know about it. The issue of bears. A lot of times when I first mention it to people that aren't really that familiar, one of the first things they want to know about is aren't you afraid of the bears? And yeah, there are bears out there, but to be perfectly honest, probably what I'm more worried about are the ticks and the mosquitoes. It's not uncommon for people to pick up Lyme disease on the AT from the ticks, and then the mosquitoes are just extremely annoying. So those are probably my biggest in terms of animals concerns on the AT, but I'll be talking a lot more about that later. So right now I'm just going to continue my hike down to the square down here and the park, and see. I really don't really know when this jazz festival is even supposed to start, but I'm going to try to get a little bit of that, and I might record a little bit of that for you as well. Okay, so I've made it down to the square, and looks like the jazz festival has not yet started, but they seem to have everything set up and ready to go. So I might just find a place to relax, maybe get a little snack, and do a little sightseeing. And there's lots of street vendors down here around the square. I might get a little something to eat. Well, tonight might be jazz night in San Miguel de Allende, but every night is mariachi night. Well, the jazz festival should be beginning any minute now, and I've found myself a place to sit, and I've ordered some enchiladas and got my vino tinto, so I'm ready to go. Like I said, the music should start any minute now. Well, that's it for now. In the coming weeks, I'll be talking a lot more about my preparations for hiking the Appalachian Trail. And then come March 12th, you'll be able to follow me as I'm actually on the trail. And for the next 4.5 months or so, track me as I hopefully make my way all the way from Springer Mountain to Mount Katahdin.